Are you ready to learn about cell signaling and immune response in plants? I know that I am. If you have no idea what I just said, that is totally okay. Stick around and find out as we use easy to understand, everyday analogies to understand more complicated scientific concepts. Okay, first of all, what is the plant cell? A cell is a basic unit of life. It makes up all living material. There are distinct differences between animal cells, like the ones you and I have, and plant cells. We will not delve into those differences today, but to pique your interest about plant cells, know that the reason most plants are the color green lies within the cell. One way you can think about cells is to think about Legos. To build a set of Legos, you need individual Legos to make up the larger set. One Lego would be one cell. Different Legos do different things, but they all help to make up the complete set. You could not have the complete set without an individual Lego. Now let's talk about cell signaling. This is a really complicated process. So to keep it simple, cell signaling is the way that the body communicates with itself, or the way that cells communicate with other cells. The easiest way to think about this is to think about an orchestra. In an orchestra, you have a conductor and musicians that play instruments. There are many different types of instruments and there are different sections. For example, the trombones, clarinets, and tubas all play very different and distinct roles. Think about the central control system of the body, which is the brain. The conductor is most similar to the brain in the way that he's leading and directing an orchestra on what to do. To tell sections how to play, he might tell the clarinets to play louder while he tells the trombones to play softer. These are two different functions, but are signaled throughout the orchestra in a similar way. Now let's pretend that the tubas are not watching the conductor, so they do not know when to come in, and instead they listen for the trombones to know when to come in. This would be an example of cell-to-cell signaling interaction. Cell signaling also occurs inside an individual cell, so think about all the clarinets telling each other when and how to play. There is a central chain of command, and signals get passed through the orchestra at every single level. This is the same with the body. This is a difficult concept to wrap your head around, but always think about the orchestra metaphor and you will begin to understand it. Now let's talk about immune response. Have you ever gotten sick or felt badly? This is because of pathogens, which are commonly known as germs. Germs invade your body and make you feel bad. Or do they? This is not necessarily true. Your body is constantly and automatically fighting back against germs, and a lot of times the things your body does to fight back are what make you feel bad. A good example of this is a fever, which is where your body temperature rises. Your body does this to create a temperature where your body is better at combating germs, so the fever speeds up the process of combating the illness. Now, do you think that humans are the only type of life that combat disease? Absolutely not. Plants are constantly battling germs as well. In fact, the way that they battle disease is just as complicated and still being researched and understood to this day. Let's use what we have learned today to walk through a very complicated figure involving plant cells, cell signaling, and immune response. You can see that the bacterial pathogen or germ is invading the plant cell in the top left. The plant cell is everything below the plasma membrane, which is basically a shield that surrounds the plant cell. Because of this invasion, there is cell signaling, which is the pathway marked with the arrows. If you follow the arrows, you can see that there is an inactive protein. A quick analogy for this is a knight defending a castle. It would be as if the knight was sleeping, but was woken up by loud noises. He then becomes active and rushes to the castle wall to help protect the castle. This is when the protein becomes active. The protein then does his duty by allowing calcium into the cell. Calcium enters the cell to initiate immune response. Well, congratulations. Using everyday analogies for difficult concepts, we could begin to understand a complex figure. It's not every day you get to deepen your understanding of the world, so you should be very proud of yourself. I know that I am proud of you. Thank you for listening to my presentation.